This is our second module of chapter 6 manufacturing industries, that is agro-based industries. Agro-based industry. Here we have mainly three industries of textile industry, the two textile industry, that is cotton textile industry and jute textiles, and the other one is the sugar industry. So these are the three industries which we are going to discuss under the heading agro-based industries. So when we talk about the textile industry, we can just have a glance about the history of the textile industry. And it is said that textile industry occupies a unique position in the Indian economy, and 14% of contribution to the Indian economy is from the textile industry. And the second largest employment generation after agriculture. And about 24.6% of foreign exchange we are getting from the textile industry. And it contributes about 4% towards the textile industry alone contribute about 4% to the GDP. And it is only industry in the country which is self-reliant and complete in the value chain. That is from the raw material to the final, all the process which is happening. That is, we are not depending upon any other country. We are self-dependent. And when we come, that is the first is the cotton textile industry. Textile industry historical, in this the subtopics which is coming under cotton textile industry is the textile industry and historical background of cotton textiles in India during the time of the Britishers and processing of the cotton, factors affecting the location of industry, challenges faced by the industries, and with the recommendation how we can overcome the problems in the cotton textile industry. When you look at the historical background, it is said that in ancient India, cotton was hand spinning. As we all know, Gandhiji recommended khadi or hand weaving, isn't it? So mainly it was hand spinning. That is, even after industrialization in Britain started only after that only we too started the machines and all. So in the initial time, it was dependent upon hand spinning. So after 18th century, power loom came into use. It is with the use of machines came into use. And the major drawback they faced during that time was traditional industries not compete with the milk-made clothes from England. Traditional industries would not compete with the milk-made clothes from England. They produced in surplus a huge quantity and it was cheap. But hand weaving, that khadi hand weaving was, they are making so much of effort. That's why it was so costly also. Quality wise traditional was good, but paisa wise it was very high. Another one month expected question is the first successful textile mill was established in Mumbai in 1854. Okay, you can expect for 1 mark question. When was the first successful textile mill was established in India? It was in Mumbai in the year 1854. Okay, this you can see the traditional method of weaving. This is a power loom. The other one was hand loom. So if you look at the number of cotton mills today, nearly 1,600 cotton human-made fiber textile mills are there in the country. Okay, more than 1,000. And one more thing is the private, 80% of it is in the private sector. And in the public sector and cooperative sector, it is only 20%. That means majority of the cotton textile is in the hands of the private sectors. And again, one more expected question for 3 marks. What are the favorable factors for the location of industry in the cotton growing belt of Maharashtra and Gujarat? Expected question for 3 marks. What are the cotton textile industry was concentrated in the cotton growing belt of Maharashtra and Gujarat. You can see in the map the location of Maharashtra and Gujarat. So again, it is availability of raw cotton. Why? Only in Maharashtra and Gujarat is more concentrated. We know that it is availability of raw cotton. Then it is being a coastal area, there is a facility of market. Then transportation, all modes of transportation favorable being a plain area. Availability of cheap labor for the plucking and other process. the most important one is the availability of which soil? Black soil. So black soil is also called as black cotton soil. Okay. So black soil, and at last the availability of port. In Gujarat and Maharashtra being a coastal area, so port facility is there. So these are the favorable factors for the location of cotton textile industry in Maharashtra and Gujarat. And industry engaged in agriculture, you can see, providing a large number of farmers are living with this cotton industry. Cotton bud pluckers and workers engaged in building, spinning, weaving, dyeing, designing, packaging, tailoring and sewing. A large number of people is being getting employment because of this cotton textile industry. And it supports many other industries like chemical, dye, millstone, packaging materials and engineering work. Okay, that means chemical is needed for dyeing of clothes. Then milk is required to store the materials, packaging material in order to pack in the final garments and all, engineering work. So that many industries are also dependent upon. Okay, these are the different processes. How we are getting from the raw cotton to final garment. You can see after the cotton plucking was over, it is being seed is being separated. There are different procedure in it, and we are making it into threads. And after the spinning process, we are weaving it and dyeing it. Then this is a yarn, and the final production of garments or fabric. So this is what is happening in the big sector, or otherwise this process is called as manufacturing process. And here the spinning continues to be centralized in Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu, and it has a world-class production. So world-class production is there for Indian spinning. Weaving is highly decentralized to provide scope for incorporating traditional skills and designing of weaving in cotton, silk, saree, embroidery, etc. of low quality fabric. Because high quality weaving, we are not much of high quality in India. Spinning is world class, but weaving, our main thread is being exported. And weaving here is done by handloom, powerloom, handloom mills. And Khadi provide a large scale employment as a cottage industry. So in order to improve in Kerala, government introduced, that is in order to support the handloom weavers, Kerala government started that once in a week they have to wear the Khadi dresses. Okay. So in coming to the export, India export yarn to Japan, USA, UK, Russia, East European countries, Nepal, Singapore, etc. and Sri Lanka and African countries. These are the buyers, cotton producing countries of 2014. You can see top 10: US, Brazil, India, China, Australia, etc. The top 10 producers of cotton. Okay, these are the cotton textile industry. You can see here. So dark circles, you can see that these are all the cotton textile industries concentrated in India. Some part is there in West Bengal, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and in South India also, especially in Coimbatore, that there is cotton growing region. And like any other industry, these two faces challenges. Challenges faced by the industry, that is power supply is erratic, that means there is no regular supply of power, that means a drawback. The machinery need to be upgraded in the weaving, that means in many areas people are still using the old inefficient method of technology, which means that the production of yield will be very less. And the stiff competition with the synthetic fiber industry like polyester, rayon and all, that one challenge, and the low output of the labor. We are not expected up to the mark, laborers are not expected up to the mark, so they are not getting timely, it is not finishing like this. Okay, so this is, we can expect for 3-mark question what are the challenges faced by the cotton textile industry. We can write it point wise. So in order to improve it, some recommendation is being given here. That is starting up new courses like the textile manufacturing and textile technology at ITIs and engineering institutes. Access to high quality and cost effective manpower, liberalized labor law, tax and benefits of the special economic zone need to be implemented, and excellent connectivity by road, rail and port. So if all this being done, it is said that we can improve or diversify our cotton products more so that we can compete in the international market. So that's about the first one, cotton textile industry. We have studied about it, the historical background, favorable factors for the location of industry, then comes challenges faced by the industry and the recommendations. So these are the 4 subtopics. So next we can move to the second textile, that is jute textiles. India is the largest producer of raw jute and jute goods and its second place as an exporter after Bangladesh. Second place after an exporter after Bangladesh. So in India means it is mainly highlighted, you can say this is West Bengal which is shown in red color, and this is the Bangladesh jute producing area which is shown in red color marks. So in mainly, most of the jute mills are located in West Bengal along the banks of the Hooghly River in a narrow belt of 98 km long and 3 km wide. You can see the Hooghly River in the location, and this you can see the course of the Hooghly River. We can find out what may be the reason why many of the jute mills are concentrated on the banks of the river Hooghly. When you look at the history, as we have seen the cotton historical background, and the first jute mill, the 1 mark expected question, the first jute mill was set up near Kolkata in 1859 at Rishra. Okay, please underline your textbook, that is the first jute mill was set up near Kolkata in 1859 at Rishra. You can see the location here, Rishra. So what problem India faced was, after the partition in 1947, the jute mill remained in India, but 3/4 of the jute producing area went to Bangladesh. That was a major problem faced by India. That is, what jute mills remained in India, but the 3/4 of the jute producing area went to Bangladesh. Okay. So under 5 mark expected question, factors responsible for the location in the Hooghly Basin. 5 mark expected question, important. Proximity of the jute producing area. Why these industries are located mainly on the Hooghly River? First, proximity of the jute producing area is near to the jute producing area. Inexpensive water transport after processing and all in order to reach the jute means cheap mode of transportation. Supported by a good network of railway, roadway, waterway to facilitate movement of raw material to mill. All are favorable. Abundant water for processing jute, processing of raw jute. That is, after cutting, after harvesting the jute, it is being immersed in the water for many days. So after many days only the thing like the leaf is being taken from the jute. So processing of raw jute water is required. Cheap labor from West Bengal and adjoining states of Bihar, Odisha and Uttar Pradesh. And Kolkata is a large urban center, provide banking, insurance and port facilities for exporting of raw jute. Okay. So all these factors are together is available on the river Hooghly Basin. That is why many of the jute mills are located along the bank of the river Hooghly. And when we come to the employment generation, this is a jute. You can see the same like jute, another fiber is mesta. So jute industry support 2.61 lakh workers directly. 40 lakh small and marginal work farmers who are engaged in the cultivation of jute and mesta. And same as cotton industry also, these two have challenges. Stiff competition in the international market from synthetic substitute and from other competitors like Bangladesh, Brazil, Philippines, Egypt and Thailand. So the stiff competition you can write both in the challenge of cotton textile industry and in the jute industry. Like synthetic substitute like polyester, rayon, etc. And here too we have recommendation. Internal demand has been on the increase due to government policy of mandatory use of jute packaging. That is, by avoiding the plastics, government has compelled them to use only the jute packaging covers and all. Then product need to be diversified. That is, instead of the jute initially was only for sack. Later it was converted to mat, sofa cover, cushion cover, like curtains, like garments, etc. So diversify the product. So main market are USA, Canada, Russia, United Arab Republic, UK and Australia. So the growing global concern for environment-friendly, biodegradable material has once again opened the opportunity for jute products. So nowadays everyone is back of a biodegradable, eco-friendly material. So there is a scope of increasing for the jute textile industry. So same as like that, some problems is being faced by these jute areas. So the National Jute Policy 2005 was implemented with the objective of increasing the productivity, improving the quality, and ensuring a good price to the jute farmers and enhancing the yield per hectare. Okay, in order to improve the quality and improve the production in the jute textile industry, mainly National Jute Policy has been implemented with the objective of increasing the productivity and improving the quality, whatever we can done so that we can compete in the international market. Then ensuring good price for the jute farmers so that many people can interested can come and enter into this job and enhancing the yield per hectare. Okay, so that's about jute industry. Mainly here too we discussed about the history. Jute means maybe first thing we have to come into your mind is West Bengal, and in West Bengal which river? Yes, Hooghly river. So factors favorable for the location of jute industry, challenges faced by the industry, recommendation and national jute policy. Seven subtopics which are coming under it. And the last one is the sugar cane industry. You all are familiar with the sugar cane. So during the Puja holidays time, you can see on the streets, it will be covered, all the shops will be having this sugar cane. Okay, sugar industry. India stands second as a world producer of sugar. First place goes to Brazil. Brazil is the first world producer of sugar. Second place goes to India. And India occupied the first place in the production of gur and kandasari. Well, we used to say kandasari. So it's a by-product, you can see now. And if you look at the distribution, there are over 460 sugar mills in the country and spread over Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Gujarat, along with Punjab, Haryana and Madhya Pradesh. And one more thing is 60% more than half is in the Uttar Pradesh and Bihar states. And it is seasonal in nature, so ideally suited to the cooperative sector. Many of the sugar industries is running successful in the cooperative sector. Another expected question for 3 marks. Why there is a tendency for the mill to shift and concentrate it in the southern and western states? 3 marks. Why there is a tendency for the mills to shift and concentrate in the southern and the western states? 1. The cane produced here has a higher sucrose content. So more than the North India, the south and western states is having the most favorable factor climatic location. The cane produced here has a higher sucrose content. Sugar content is more. The cooler climate also ensures a longer crushing season. Longer season to you. The cooperatives are more successful in these states. So this is 3 reasons of tendency of shifting mill to south and western states. Same as like the other two, here too, sugar industry face challenges. The seasonal nature of the industry. One challenge, throughout the year they are not getting work, it's seasonal in nature. Second, old and inefficient method of production, still the traditional method of what production is being happening. The transport delay reaching cane to factories. That is sucrose content decrease with the increasing distance. That is sugar content, that is sugar mills will be always near to the sugar cane field. Because when the sugar is being once harvested, increasing distance that in order to reach the mill means we are traveling a long distance means the sucrose or sugar content will reduce. That is one of the challenges. And the other one is need to maximize the use of bagasse. Bagasse, this is what you can say bagasse after getting the juice from that sugar cane. The last one name is bagasse. Need to maximize the use of bagasse. And in the traditional method of this processing, sugar processing, bagasse is used as a fuel also. Okay. So that's about the sugar cane. It's a small topic, sugar cane. Only two main headings are coming. One is why there is a shift of sugar mix from north to south and western states, and the challenges faced by the industry. Okay, thank you, and we will continue the chapter in the next module, that is topic 3, mineral based industries.